Well, I'm sitting here busy building stuff out and getting things moved around, and somebody told me it is time for us to make a full jump. That likely means we have unlocked or opened up the 2,000 2,000 cryopods we needed to open up in order to be able to move out of the system. Hello, everybody. This is Frogman. Welcome back to IXION and our continued progression of doing a few things. I'm hoping that by the end of this episode, we should be able to get out of this area. Again, I'm going to kind of, scrape the system with as much reverence or whatever you want to say. We're going to peel as much of this stuff out of here as we possibly can and take it with us. However, I do believe that we are going to probably stop worrying about some of the silicon here fairly soon. This may be a fairly long episode, maybe a very short episode. It just depends on how things go. There are 2 things left for us to initialize as far as story is concerned, and several of the other things that we have been working on. So, at the end of the very last episode, we unlocked Sector 4, or the last sector, and I've been slowly building things up. Now, what we're going to do in this sector is we're going to use this as a storage for humans and excess materials. So I do want to be able to drain almost all of this stuff. So I'm not really too terribly concerned about, say, all of this excess iron, but the alloy. I want to store an entire, say, full-size thingy, full deal here of this, which will hold 200 or 720 units of material. We're going to store 720 full, at least, of the polymer, the alloy, food, maybe ice for sure, and, well, some of the other things, just depends. At the point in time, I think we can probably get at least 2 of these full, and I probably am going to go ahead and dump this and say that we're just going to store as many circuits as we can store. Actually, that means something here too. Either way, I want to kind of go ahead and dump that, as that's been my spare as far as this goes. So Sector 3, you can just get dumped on that for now and move all of those over to here. But this is what we're going to do at this point. We're going to take everything from this sector that we think we need to do and dump everything from that sector into this sector. So I am going to go ahead and unload that now that I don't need it. And again, Sector 4 alloy, go ahead and just fill it up. Now, we're going to do this so that we can just have a lot of storage, and that's kind of what I want to do as far as the last sector. So we'll have 4 or 5 main large ones of these in this area, and then we'll pepper in some of the smaller ones for, say, food and trash. I actually probably should move the trash one back there, and then just kind of go from there. We've been doing some serious research. We've got a whole bunch of stuff done. I've managed to get the drone bay completely upgraded, which means the logistics of the drones are doing just as good as they can possibly go, and they're incredibly loud. That'd be an upgrade that I'd like, is just to be able to shut it up. I did go ahead and toss a couple of these down. They are not built. They have not had anything delivered to them yet, and we're going to continue to kind of let things roll on that fence, that road, that idea, whatever. The reason why I'm trying to clear out the polymer right now is that I know I probably have several of our our ships up here at capacity full of polymer that they need to be getting rid of. So we need to make sure that at least most of this silliness that's been happening in these 2 sectors goes away fairly soon. Because for the most part, we should be done with the polymer as well, at least to a point. So before we move to the next sector, I want to fill an entire thing full of polymer, the entire large, an entire large storage full of the, come on, brain, alloy, an entire large storage full of ice, and I'm gonna say possibly, maybe food, maybe. Because if I dump all the food out of these 2 right here, I would be able to then rip this out and put a full one in here, but I guess it doesn't really matter. I actually kind of don't really mind it. It doesn't really matter to me very much, but I would like to kind of come in here and reorganize some of this a little bit, because I do... If I click the right button, yeah, see, they won't fit in here. That's the kind of reason why we're doing that. So we may kind of do a shuffle from this sector into the other. One of the nice things about having all 6 sectors open at this point is that drones have the capacity or the capability of flying left and right from now on, instead of saying, if I wanted to get some material from sector, what is this, 3, to Sector 5. The drones and the logistics had to fly all the way around the ship. Sorry if that makes you sick. Now that this is open, we're having bi-directional traffic flowing both directions, and things are moving much quicker around. So it is a big deal about getting it cracked open. You no longer have to worry about that problem. So let's click that button. Let's go yes. And let's go outside and see what we're doing. Now, I did have to do a little bit of fooling around because we're working on the edge of our power. Once again, working on the edge of our power, so I'm kind of playing it a little spooky at this point. Like we could probably, for that matter, shut some of these off. Like, we're not scanning anymore right now, I don't think. I mean, I might do a couple of quick scans around just to see if there's anything else. I may, in that last sector, be really silly and fire up a fusion plant or whatever just to make a little bit more power. But if that's the case, we will do that next system. I'm not totally 100% sold on the fact that we need it at this point, because once we do a bit more work, like once I use up the majority of the silicon that's in this area to build a bunch of chips, I'm getting rid of this. That'll be 30 of those. Once we get it, well, 30 power. Once we get majority of the carbon that we've used up in here to produce as much of this stuff as we possibly can, so that stuff right there, then we'll go ahead and probably shut this down and get rid of it as well, although that's only 5 power, which will also get rid of a bunch of this. So we're kind of running at this as hard as we can. I may, for that matter, kind of rip these two out and put this back in, or put one of these in here somewhere just so that we can work. But we're just kind of at that point right now in this sector where we're going to just try to get rid of all of the excess stuff that's laying around and store it for later. So I want another one of these, and we'll put this one over here because it's closest to this sector there. You get to hold ice and get to work. I may or may not do these. I haven't made up my mind yet. We'll leave them right there where they are for now in case. Anyhow, outside, what do we got for story? First things first, we're done on this planet. We're done on this planet. In the last episode, we got told we needed to move right away immediately. You get a choice of one of the 3 things to do things. As far as I am aware, the look at the crystal, study the concentric circles are safe. This one is going to unlock some kind of a silliness that's going to happen. Again, we learned a little bit of things. We're leaving the planet. I want to keep my science ships in reasonable order. Go home. We lost a person already, so it doesn't really matter. As far as I know, there is nothing else out here in this system that we need to scan as far as spooky stuff. At least I'm not seeing any more of the blue or the eye or anything like that. And you do need to make sure to kind of scan outside of things, because every once in a while you'll end up with something like that that's clear out here. So again, I think for the most part, the only thing we're down on is a lot of hydrogen. And, like, we can speak on that a second.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Nuclear power plant transforms 3 to 8 hydrogen into 75 or 200 power per cycle. Of which then you probably should need to go ahead and do a bunch of the things under it in order to make it work. So probably what we're going to do first when we get to the next system is look at this, given the fact that this may be something that we'll be able to run. My biggest scary part about this thing is how many people that thing probably needs in order to work. And it needs hydrogen, which means you need to accumulate the hydrogen, you need to bring the stuff in, and you're going to get anywhere between, what does it say right there, 3 to 8 hydrogen to turn 75 into 200 power per cycle. That's an awful lot of stuff that you're going to have to continuously feed the system when we have, solar, which just means I need to start getting good at budgeting my power, which is fine. This one. Now, this is going to be where this is a kind of a scary little point. Why I want to do this is we're probably going to go ahead at this point and load this thing full of ice, since we have a lot of ice. but I'm going to be careful with it. So I want to make sure that sector, which one is it? Ice, 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 ice here. I want to make sure that this sector here is always set to full. 4, I'm going to set you to full as well, and that should drain all this excess stuff out of the rest of the system. Essentially what I want to... come on back in here. Essentially what I want to do is I want to get all of the ice that is being accumulated in this sector out of it. So let's look at our ships really quickly as far as this sector is concerned. Let's stop picking up ice, please. And then what we'll do, we've got enough ice to last us many seasons. So we'll have them haul all of the ice out of here. That'll allow us to close this off and allow us to store a few other things. I think the biggest scary part about that is that they're going to have to carry excess this direction, but that's fine. I just want to make sure we clear out as much of these current ships as we can. So this one, he's not got anything in him. That's fine.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
Yes, we know. It's fine. I think we'll be okay to maybe start thinking about building these two. Although I don't really need it. Alright, polymer's cleared out of that. So I'm going to kick you down for right now. We will likely... Actually, what I could do... Let's do this. You get so deleted. We'll delete this one. And you, given that this is the same size as this, and go right there, you can be the new circuits, and you can get emptied once that time happens. So that'll build a little bit of stuff in there. Now I might try to do the same thing in here, or somehow, some way, some which way, I don't know. What I've done before, what I did before on my test area was that I kind of just did one to the other in both, and I had the all the stuff up here as far as the storage is, but I kind of like this, so kind of leaving it alone. So those should drain all of that out of there into there, and then once that's emptied, we can delete this one. And for that matter, I can put another steel one right here if we want to, or another alloy. Cannot speak words hard today. All right, everything else seems to be okay. I think what I probably could do... I don't see a great need to have alloy in this sector anymore. I don't think. I think we have enough batteries. How is the battery power in Sector 5? You know, we could do a little better. Why don't you build some batteries, since we're getting ready to fly anyway? I can get one right there. That'll be enough for one more. And, like, I can put a battery there, although I think this sector's doing reasonably well now. 6 is 6.2. Granted, we have one of these shut off, and I have to keep an eye on it to make sure that our food stores stay up, but again, we're actually probably running just perfectly fine on 3.5 or 2.5. So, like, these two are doing the work for the most part, but this one's doing the work for the most part, but, like, they're barely emptying, so that means they're getting to that point every... I don't know how much it is a cycle. It's 9 times 15 every cycle, so, you know, lots and lots and lots of stuff. Alloy's doing well in here. We don't have any more corpuscles. We can shut that one off to try to save a little power. You can get deleted because I need to expand on one of these. Once this ice runs out of here, we'll be good to go there. So yeah, I think we're doing okay. What do we got for story outside? We have one left. The question. In the end of the last episode, or towards the end of the last episode, we were asked whether or not we wanted to bring a highly intelligent bacteria, I think, onto the space station using someone's respiratory tract to bring them on. I've not looked at this one. So we're going to do the thing that, you know, any crazy fool would.
An accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
And I love it how as soon as I did that, we get an accident. It's just hilarious. Anyhow, I want to go ahead now that we have the ability. I'm going to go ahead and turn, this is going to be 14. We're going to be able to do this. Resume the building of that docking bay, and then we're going to move I think probably some of the stuff where we're going to be for sure moving one of these other, maybe moving one of the better ones or moving one of the simpler ones, so that this is going to be where we locate the ice from now on. This is going to be where the ice is coming into the area. And then what we'll do in here is this is also going to be where we're going to do any more colony work. So anything that has to come from a colony or anything that has to be built, anything that has to be done is going to be coming from this one here. And we're just going to have to be careful not to overwork this sector, which I've got to make sure. How are we doing? I did put like 100 people in here. I actually can move a few people. Probably should. Whatever. Let's go see what we have out here. Final report of the Faraday. This is Jensen Krause for the words of the Faraday dead. The Faraday has been critically damaged. I'm engaging in emergency cryonics protocols now. If you're hearing this, please send help immediately. End of communication. I got 20 science. I lost 4 people. Ship destroyed. Trust penalties -5, but we get 1 person for extraction. They tried to take over the ship. That's interesting. Cute. Well, I knew I was going to lose 1 this area. I just knew I was going to lose 1 somewhere in this system. It seems like no matter what you do, we lost a whole bunch of, we lost at least 2 or 3 of these, so we've had to rebuild a whole bunch, and then we lost another one. Lost another one of our science ships. It's hilarious. Where did we lose it? And because I did that, I need to do this. Pop him out. That's one of our people. You can go to work. We didn't lose it in that one. We lost it in there. Go ahead, make another one of the... No, not contact. Well, I guess contact can live in there. Can we move? Dang it. It's hilarious. Where did I put the other one? Oh, it's up there. Go ahead, make us another science ship. It's fine. At least it doesn't count towards our depth total, which for whatever reason... That one was there because we got smacked by some lightning. Anyhow, I think we're about done here. So essentially what I'm going to do from here on out is we're going to finish thawing out who's left of these people. We're going to try to get as much material as we possibly can out of the area, and then we're, well, with what's left of the time, go to the next sector. So when I get all of that done, I will see you all. I'm going to be doing science and taking care of whatever little bit of stuff that I can. And yeah, we'll be back. So let me do all that. One of the interesting things that comes up with the last little thing while we're sitting here talking about it is the fact that the person that came back from the cryopod that we just got, that we lost due to, or the science ship that we lost due to a specific person, this is likely the person that has the bacteria stuck in their nose, and they killed everybody on their ship. So we either have a choice of killing this person, or we can conduct careful study of the person to find out what the hell happened. Again, I'm having fun. If he brought it back, well, then I guess we're going to find out. Anyhow, we're going to continue on. We're building a few things. We're moving stuff around. I'm going to do a little bit more stuff. And again, we're still scraping the area. So we'll be back with that guy once he gets done. Pretty sure there'll be coming something out of that in a little bit. Alrighty, well, I think we're going to kind of think about getting out of here. We've gotten to the point we've gotten most of the ice and most of the stuff. I think the only thing really left now is just ice, hydrogen, and carbon, of which we're not going to use. I do believe I've collected all of the silicon, which I think we're going to be fine. So I've done a little bit. Let's swing it on over to this side. So we've now moved the ice supply into this into sector 4. So we now have a full thing here, plus 2 over here taking care of our ice problem. And again, if we ever just need to have a little bit of water, we almost always have this thing that's capable of doing it. However, we're using all of the current waste that we are producing to producing a reasonable amount of circuits. So we have quite a few amount of circuits in here, as well as quite a bit of silicon left all over. So Well, I mean, there's quite a bit. We've got enough to make quite a few more circuits before we need to shut this little doohickey down. Now, I think the only thing I was going to work on right before we left was I was going to listen to that again. We unlocked the largest battery that we can get, and I don't think it'll fit in that little location right there, but I do know that we're going to continue to kind of use this area as a way of moving things from one location to another, so I don't want to go too terribly crazy. The only problem is this sector is not very good. It's not at least 4, 4.5, 5. In order to get the 4, you have to shut a few things off to get it done. We may end up moving, even so much as I may end up moving the cryopod thingy-magitter that's getting the cryopods will probably be moved into this one. I have that shut off right now. So I do maybe say that we might try to just go ahead and move some of these stockpiles out of the way, or maybe I move this one over or something. I don't know right now. We're just going to kind of do it. But I do think for right now what I am going to do is build one of those right there for right now, just so that we have a little bit more of the juice available for us so that we can get this hopefully over 4 on Sector 1. That way they're all over 4. This game, or like I said, I forget, it was this sector they wanted everything over 5, I think. 5 cycles. And that's just in case you had to run from one side of the system to the other. But we did a little bit of upgrading to the IXION so that she could actually fly faster and withstand a few more things. But I believe that, like, if you didn't do any upgrades, to get from here to over here would have taken like 5 cycles. So we're a little better on that. Got all the food rolling pretty hard. We're just kind of watching things and making sure everything's good. There is enough ice left in this sector right now that if I wanted to, we could stay here for many more cycles. However, we're already over 3,000. I'm stopping at the, well, proverbial point right now, which is just under 5,000, because supposedly back in the, well, I know several updates ago that there was a problem where there was a hard cap on how many people you could put on the Tiqqun, and 5,000 was a point where it would start to bug out. So we stopped it at this point. We're going to get us a hard save and then start playing with the next sector or next system. Again, though, I think the only thing left in here is a whole lot of ice, and if I wanted to sit here and farm up all of what is left of our science, all of what's left, I could probably get it done. So I'm not really worried about it. Again, I've not unlocked a few things. We've got to do a little bit more science-y work in a few areas. I think I did do this one. So I will probably try to work the hull temples in eventually, maybe in the next sector, just as a way of things going. But like for the most part right now, given this sector has nothing in it other than just, well, hull being good, train station, and this, plus the dog, they're happy at a +6. Plus propaganda, plus propaganda, +3. We already did all that stuff, so they're doing pretty good without any external stuff. So I've gone ahead in some of the other ones and shut the alternative life centers off just to try to save a little bit of power. And for that matter, I think we're probably just going to go ahead and delete them. If I have storage space or space, like this one here is +1 in this sector. And I do believe that if I added on to the Marduk, one of these ones in here, I think we can get a little bit more stuff out of it. But again, I don't really think it's going to be necessary for the moment. I know, famous last words and all, but once you get this thing, and once you, if you're smart enough to take the dog and the train stations and, you know, propaganda up where it is, plus people living mostly in Domatic Quarter, there's an awful lot of this. Now, I have a full-on expectation for the next system to not be very nice to us. So let's go ahead, as sad as I am, and say, come back, guys. Because we have lots of ice. At least we should have enough ice to get to the next sector. I am a little concerned at this point because we're under half of what one of the larger storages can hold as far as
Accident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
iron. So we're going to continue to move, well, you know, iron ore, so we're going to just worry about it as we go. I had a thought to maybe gather up a bit of hydrogen before we move to the next one, but I think with some careful planning, given what we find in the next one, I think we'll with the last little bit of this episode, say goodbye to this one. I know I could have probably scraped it a little harder, but we're kind of at a point where all I'm really doing is just accumulating science. And, well, as we know, as we move to every single sector or system, wherever, the more stuff we find, the more science we get. And we're getting pretty close to not really needing it, to be fair. I mean, almost everything that I would normally try to get done, at least I think, or what I would try to do, is done. I mean, I haven't bothered to do some of this stuff over here, but again, there's like a couple of hundred science, I think, and we'd probably be done. So, we'll see what happens, I guess. Let's go to the next sector. Everybody on board? Get it.
Charging in accordance with Frau Stanford procedures, all ships must return to the Tiqqun before Volt Jump initiation. Engine ready.
Once again, here we go.
Full jump complete. Running preliminary diagnostics. Expected irreversible damage to the Tiqqun detected. Calculations indicate the system's pulsar is dormant. Sensors have located the Piranesi, currently powered down. You must find a way to retrieve the Remus coordinates from it. Act with extreme caution, Administrator.
I mean, I don't know what the heck we're going to do other than try to get on the damn thing. Let's go find it and let's see what happened. Let's go look outside. Thank you, Eden. Okay, so we have search Piranesi for Remus coordinates, locate a viable planet for testing, and this system has a pulsar. Those aren't nice to be around. They're not nice to be around. I would figure that being even that close, everybody on the Tiqqun would be dead. I don't know. I guess I'm not paid. I mean, I guess if it's dormant, then I mean it's not throwing us off massive rays of things and stuff. Okay. First thing we're going to do, and again, I should say, we did replace the one ship we lost, and I went ahead and made another one, so now we have Galileo and Tesla. I know better than to bother that thing. I'm sorry. I know better than to bother that thing. New people, go over there. Galileo, you're new people. Go over there.
Science ship has arrived at its destination.
Let's start mining. I don't know if I want any silicon this time. Ooh, there's something back there. Alright, let's just kind of work on... Well, I guess we need our science ships immediately doing things. There's something right there. And... we have enough ice, we can kind of kick back for a second. Go there. Alright, so we're going to be collecting a little bit of science. People are going to be finding things out. I don't know. And again, we have this storm cloud that I don't really like either. We're going to have to do something about that. And apparently it expects us to stay here long enough to do a colonization protocol, which is not great. Ding and ding. Let's see. These one is whom? Galileo's over there. You go over there. You go that way. We'll get some stuff going on, and we'll do a small amount of the story.
Incident has occurred in the Tiqqun.
And then figure out what happens after that. But unfortunately, this one might be the one that we're going to send to go take a look at this one. Just depends on what else I find. But, let's read story.
The ship has arrived at its destination.
Several planetary readings from 12H fall outside the parameters of theoretical models. I don't like this already. We've landed on a planet with intense geological activity. Fissures expel gas in the atmosphere. Canyons run deep across the planet's surface. We've located a stable area where we should be able to study 12H's phenomena. Several planetary readings fall outside the planet. I don't even know if I want them on this thing. I'll give them that. And we need to do anybody that's in that thing. So you've been my friend. Do that for a while. Go help them out. You've made it, you're collecting your science. You've made it, you're collecting your science. We need to make sure we produce ice. I need ice. Or that, I mean, given... What the heck? There, found it finally. And then we're going to do an ice somewhere. And then make sure we're not gathering up anything we don't need. So you guys are ice, and any of that that'll show up there, we're not going to gather up any more carbon unless we absolutely think we have to get it. Good deal. Okay.
The probe has completed its scan.
So I'm going to do these two right here. I guess we'll just do this one and see what's going on. First readings from the 12D indicated planet experiences intense geothermal activity, extremely high temperatures. Its surface is largely covered with molten basaltic rock. I don't like that either. We've located a promontory that seems to be dangerous. Soaring temperatures and use gravity. We recommend quick surface analysis as opposed to any further exploration that could sit. Just do a really quick basic one. And you... Anybody in this one can go. You can go this time. Yes. And then we'll get that going here as well. And that's going to be an interesting one. What do we got? Probe detected meteorologic activity. We've descended into the upper atmosphere of 12G. Updrafts and downdrafts of ionized hydrogen form purple shaded tornadoes. Immense green cumulus clouds and grouping of tornadoes around a massive cyclone on the planet, large enough to be observable from space. Wow, cool. Sounds like Jupiter. A Reagan drop measuring device in the lower atmosphere and close to meteorological necessary to provide stuff by ship. Directs the fabrication of a drone adapted for conditions present on it, although a simple design is drone is sophisticated enough to collect data. Let's do that one. And you can do that. And we'll call it there. I'm going to kind of set up a little bit of mining and do a little bit of, well, small prospecting kind of thingy, and hopefully we don't end up blowing things up and making something mad when we get that close. But I think for right now, I will see you all in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.